Okay, so folks, thanks for joining us. Spoon TV, we are still here live on the grounds of the legislature. Capitol Hill is where we're coming live to you from. My name is Nelson Colette. We are our sincere apologies for the terrible connection. Of course, there has been some serious network issues here, but it's a good thing that we're back. And of course, just a quick update from up Capitol Hill here as we continue with the coverage here. At the moment, the majority black, as most of you followed, have been moving on with their session, the 6-day sitting of that body. It's been going on at the joint chambers of the legislature. And the ECOWAS delegation that recently paid a visit to Liberia in the midst of this crisis have been able to reach out to the majority black on last Tuesday. That was on Tuesday, sorry. The ECOWAS delegation came to Liberia and they were able to meet with the Liberian Senate. There was a meeting held with the leadership of the Liberian Senate. And of course, today, they also went on to have another meeting with Councillor Kofa and his team. The folks also termed as the minority bloc here at the legislature. The team could not meet with the majority bloc on Tuesday. And so today, following their sitting, a very active activity in the joint chambers of the legislature, the team then decided to meet with the majority bloc of the House of Representatives. So as we speak, they are in executive. The ECOWAS delegation is currently meeting with the lawmakers from that end. So subsequently, we will be giving you more updates as to what their conversations are, what the ECOWAS delegation will achieve as a result of the meeting with the majority bloc here today. But Liberians have witnessed for now the 5th week the consistent fight from the majority bloc to have the speaker removed. And of course, the minority bloc or lawmakers in favor of the speaker, Councillor J. Fonati Kofa, have failed to get a quorum. The number has dropped from 30 to 29 at the moment. And of course, the majority bloc on the other end have sustained the fight. They've managed to maintain 43 members for over 4 weeks now here on the grounds of the legislature. This has sparked the involvement of the ECOWAS. Liberians are divided over this particular decision, talking about the involvement of ECOWAS in what's happening here on the grounds of the legislature. So right now I see a good number of LDEA officers. They just arrived here on the grounds of the legislature. So why this session is going on, why this meeting, with the ECOWAS delegation is going on, any moment from now, we are going to see the lawmakers, the representatives from the majority bloc coming down. So that's part of the reason why you see a very good number of the security here. The LDA officers just got in, and you have police officers deployed on the other end at all entrances of the Capitol building. There's a huge security presence here, and everyone coming in here, whether you're on a vehicle or you're trying to make your way in just by walking through, will have to present some sort of identity to be able to have access to the facility here. So why this meeting is going on, the ECOWAS delegation and the majority bloc, we will subsequently, immediately following this meeting, provide you some updates with respect to what the outcome of the meeting is, what the ECOWAS delegation here is going to achieve today as a result of their decision to visit the lawmakers, to visit the 55th legislature, to have a conversation. And at the moment, Liberians are out here. Some of them employees of the legislature, central administration, or staffers of the different lawmakers. There are some who have just come to witness this issue since in fact, this is something that has caught the attention of Liberians across the world. So there are some who are here to just witness everything that's going to be happening, since in fact we have the ECOWAS delegation here as well. And so there are some Liberians who are here to see as to how this is going to play out. And while this is happening at the House of Representatives, or the lower house, at the level of the Senate, I just went in the chambers of the Senate before getting out here to do this quick update. The senators are yet to assemble, or go in their own chambers for the regular session. As per the rule of the Liberian Senate, they should have begin session by 10 a.m. But it has become a regular thing now here at the legislature, where most times sessions will begin at 12 p.m., sometimes 12:30 or 1 p.m. So even up to now, the session at the Liberian Senate is yet to start. And so media folks, media colleagues have gathered there as well, awaiting the arrival of the senators in the chambers of the Liberian Senate. And on the flip side, here at the House of Representatives, of course, the majority bloc is the one that's, engaging, carrying on legislative functions as far as the lower house is concerned. And they've been having their own activity in the joint chambers. And today they were able to engage on a lot of other issues. Most of you are aware that there were some lawmakers who were being invited following the tension here up Capitol Hill, following their involvement or attempts, to destabilize the workings of the majority bloc. They were being invited by that body to appear before the majority bloc, to appear in the sitting or in the session of the majority bloc, to say as to why they did what they did, from the blocking of the doors to the chambers when the speaker was away, to the situation where the joint chambers of the legislature was being vandalized, the removal of the chairs, moving on to the incident on Tuesday where some of the folks trooped in, tried breaking through the joint chambers to disrupt the session of the majority bloc. Bone County lawmaker Representative J. Marvin Cole was visibly seen in the midst of all of that. And so that body addressed a communication to some of our colleagues, citing them, to appear before that body and state reason, as a way of trying to give them due process, state reason why they were involved into all of those things that went on. The lawmakers are six. You talk about Representative J. Marvin Cole, Representative Frank Safoko of District 9, Montserrado County, Representative Edward Papi Flomo of District 13, Montserrado County, and other lawmakers, who were involved with this particular thing, Dina Norman of Bone County. So the invite was extended to them. They were expected to appear today, which they didn't do. So that body has been making some decision on that as well. We'll bring you all of those updates right here. But thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us, folks. We are still here. We want to make sure we remain posted here till we get to receive the lawmakers from the majority bloc, who are expected to arrive here and give us and then give us some updates with respect to the meeting that is currently ongoing with the ECOWAS delegation to Liberia. So thanks for joining us, Spoon TV. I'm Nelson Colette. Um, One thing that is always happening here, you know, at the grounds of the legislature is that once the lawmakers, once those majority black members start to make their way down, sometimes it's usually this, kind of tension. There's this situation where some of the folks will try to raise tension. They will always come down with a huge presence of security. The presiding, who happens to be the deputy speaker, will most times embark his vehicle from the other side of the building, and once he's approaching this entrance of the Capitol building, there's a huge presence of security, and he moves with that speed, making sure that he is giving the maximum protection, as he tries to exit this particular facility. So a lot is going on here today, and we're gonna be posted here to bring you all of the updates from the grounds of the legislature. Once we are signaled that there is a session going on at the level of the Liberian Senate, we will definitely flip over and try to give you more updates here. So folks, thanks for watching Spoon TV. Thanks for joining us here on this live broadcast. Of course, we are coming to you live from the Liberian Senate, and of course, this is where we are. Thanks for joining us. So any moment from now, the folks from the majority bloc will be making their way down here. The legislature has become the center stage for attention, drama, if you may, for about 1 month now. In the midst of everything that's happening, the speaker have stood to his word, and he has said consistently that he's not going to resign, contrary to what happened in the case of other speakers who went through similar process, who were being fought by majority members of this body. He has said consistently that he's going to hold on. He's not going to resign. He's going to make sure that the law is followed in this process, that due process is given. The folks who support the speaker, or otherwise known as the majority bloc, the minority, have said that everything that's ongoing here at the level of the House of Representatives, or with the majority bloc, as some people may call them, is illegal. Following the appearance of 3 officials of the executive branch of government on Tuesday before that body, the majority bloc, most of you followed that, and you saw that the LWSC managing director Mohammed Ali appeared before that body. Transport Minister Shirley Tyler, of course, appeared, and you had the Internal Affairs Minister also making an appearance before that body. Some saw it as a validation, or as the executive giving some level of legitimacy to that particular body. And then what we saw immediately following that action was a communication from the House, told the executive, more or less sending a caveat to the executive, asking the executive to stay out of everything that's happening here at the level of the House of Representatives, reiterating or re-emphasizing that there are 3 branches of government equal, that are all equal and are supposed to carry on their functions or duties, void of the interference of any branch. And so the House of Representatives did address a communication to the executive, asking the executive to stay out of what's happening here at the grounds of the legislature. And not just that, but also asking the executive to avoid anything that would send a message that the executive is giving some level of legitimacy, or that will signal that the executive is taking a side in this particular thing. Well, the House of Representatives wants the executive to remain neutral in the midst of everything that's happening here at the House of Representatives. Let the battle go on, let the fight go on. Let's see who wins at the end of the day, but it should be void of the involvement of the executive branch of government. And interestingly, the two branches of government are just facing each other. You have the legislature right here, the Senate wing on that end. You have the House's wing at this end, the House of Representatives here, the Liberian Senate on the other end. Right before us here is where you have the rotunda of the Capitol, where the both houses meet and have other issues. And also up there, you have the where you see the seal. All right, where you see the seal there, you have the joint chambers of the House of Representatives. You have the rotunda down here. You have the House of Representatives on the other end. You have the Senate on this other end. But interestingly, right opposite this particular facility, on the flip side, you have the executive mansion, you know. So the executive is right there. The legislature is right here. Two branches of government seated right next to each other, facing just, you know, the other one. And you have the judiciary on the other side, right behind the Senate's wing of the House of the legislature. So all three branches of government seated right here, but one branch of government thinks, which is the legislature, thinks that this branch of government that is at this end, the executive, is interfering in the activities of this branch of government, the executive. Now, interestingly, the judiciary happens to be right at the back of the Senate's wing of the legislature. Now, this is the interesting thing. This issue was taken at the back of the Senate's wing. Let me put it that way, where you have the judiciary branch of government. That body decided to, you know, not get involved that much, asking the how do you call it, the legislature, sorry, asking the legislature to go ahead and handle their own situation. So it was taken back there, the judiciary. Judiciary asked the legislature to handle their own issue. Now it has gotten to the point where the executive is now left with a tough decision to make. The executive right there, that's the executive mansion, the seat of the president, and the executive is now left with a very tough decision to make. In the midst of everything that's happening here, folks, the national budget is expected to be presented to the legislature. In fact, on the 31st of October, it was expected that the legislature will have received the draft national budget for 2025, and that the processes leading to the passage of the budget and then subsequent execution for 2025 is carried out. Remember now, the finance minister Augustine Kwehe Gafuan took over, and immediately when he took over, he was very concerned about the delay in most of these processes, talking about the budget period, the timely passage of the budget, government functioning very well. He went on to talk about even the vendors. There are so many vendors who will perform certain services, or let's say render certain services to the government of Liberia, to government ministries and agencies, and some of those vendors would not get paid. Sometimes after 4 months, it will go into 5 months, sometimes up to a year. Those vendors will not get paid for the services they render to the government of Liberia. So that was a concern. But the finance minister, when he took over, he was very concerned, and he mentioned this issue about the timely passage of the budget as one of the things that he will focus on as finance minister. He will make sure that the budget is passed timely, so as to afford those entities, those government ministries and agencies to carry on their functions in a very timely way, so that even the vendors who render services to the government of Liberia will be paid in time. But in the midst of this very fine plan, a very well articulated vision of the finance minister, the budget as it stands is at a standstill because of what's going on now at the level of the House of Representatives. The budget is at a standstill. The big question remains: when exactly will the budget get passed? The beautiful plan laid out by the finance minister, is it going to be achieved? Is it going to fall in line as per what he planned? Is the happening here at the legislature going to impede, in any way impede, the function of government in its entirety, considering the fact that the finance minister came in with his own plan and some of the things that he intended to achieve as a finance minister, and all of those other things coming into play. The budget is at a standstill. Communication is being addressed to the chief clerk. The House of Representatives is divided as to who receives the budget. Well, the minority bloc, or the speaker and his team, have addressed the executive, asking them to stay out of everything that's happening here. They shouldn't take a side. They should remain neutral, stay out of the happenings here on the grounds of the legislature. The big question remains: will the executive stay out? Stay out. Stay out. Does that mean that the House of Representatives or the Speaker and his team want the executive to maybe hold on to the budget, since in fact there's an infight, there's a wrangling here at the House of Representatives? To what extent is this going to affect the passage, the smooth passage and the timely passage of the national budget? These are all things that Liberians are concerned about. These are all things that Liberians are concerned about. And of course, this is exactly where we are right here at the moment. We're still awaiting the arrival of the lawmakers. The Senate session is yet to start. The majority bloc, we understand, have concluded. But they're still up there in executive. They're now meeting with the ECOWAS delegation to Liberia. And so once that meeting is concluded, we are going to peep in, we're going to spark conversation with a few of those lawmakers to know exactly where we stand, to know exactly what the outcome of this particular meeting is, to know as to whether they're going to listen to the ECOWAS. In fact, what are the suggestions that ECOWAS is going to be making to the majority bloc at this time? Since in fact they met with the minority bloc, they had a great conversation with the minority bloc. Are they going to be saying to the majority bloc that they should stand down and go into the chambers and go under the gabble of Councillor J. Fonati Kofa, the speaker, giving due process as he's requesting, so as to bring this issue to rest? Or are they going to sustain the fight to ensure that they remain consistent in this particular process, and so as to achieve what they intend to do, the removal of the speaker? Now, we did see the establishment of a committee. This committee, according to the majority bloc, was established, a 7-man committee established to provide, to give due process to the speaker, Councillor J. Fonati Kofa, to provide him the opportunity to be able to exonerate himself in the midst of the many counts that has been presented against him by his colleagues. We did see the establishment of the committee. 7 men. It's being chaired by Montserrat County District 4 Representative Michael Thomas. He chairs that committee. As to whether the speaker in the first place is going to subject himself, agree to sit before that particular committee, that's another thing that remains of a serious concern even as we speak. Yes, and but they set up a committee, 7 lawmakers, and the committee is expected to investigate the counts presented by the very majority bloc against the speaker. This is Spoon TV. I'm Nelson Colette. Thanks for joining us if you just did. I just thought to throw in a little bit of analysis here as we continue with this update on the grounds of the legislature right here. So as you see, security vehicles have already started trooping in. From the other end, you see some security vehicles, the escort, some of the vehicles of the ranking lawmakers are already here. I see the chief of security or the security director here at the House of Representatives, at the legislature, you know, and all of those folks are coming out. So we look forward to seeing what happened. There are signs that any moment from now, those lawmakers, those legislators will be coming out. I see the momentum building up gradually. As to whether they've concluded the meeting with ECOWAS, that's something we're yet to establish. But any moment from now, they are going to be coming out. There's a build-up already. They're going to be coming out. And I've been joined by my colleague, Trocon Flammer. My colleague have been in there since this morning. And as we said earlier, our apologies for the breakdown in the network. My colleague is going to join me as we provide you more update here because he's been in there. We're going to bring you a joint analysis of the happenings here up Capitol Hill. So folks, thanks for joining Spoon TV, and Trocon, maybe you can take over from there. How's it been here since this morning on the grounds of the Capitol? I understand the folks are in an executive, the meeting with the ECOWAS delegation right now. I mean, let's go back on some of the achievements so far, some of what this body was able to achieve as a result of their sitting today.
A lot, Nelson. Thank you for joining me from the grounds of the Capitol building. We've been here this morning. I came very early this morning due to the presence of the joint security here on the grounds of the Capitol building. When I arrived here this morning, I saw the majority bloc bringing in their chairs. They normally remove the chairs, take the chairs along with them wherever they are. When they are coming for session, they bring back the chairs. So they brought their chairs in, they pick up, and they decided to arrange the chairs for the session today. And they did. And later on, the speaker arrived and he visited
You mean the deputy speaker who is now the presiding?
No, the speaker Funanti Kofa arrived here earlier on this morning.
Okay.
He visited the side of the Senate.
Okay.
He went. We don't know who he went to talk to, but other people say he went to talk to the Senate Pro Tem, Malanyomli Kanga Lawrence, who also arrived here earlier on, just a moment before the speaker could arrive here.
Okay, so Trocon, I'm going to join you shortly. I want to make an adjustment so you can keep providing this update as I join you shortly.
So the speaker was here, and later on we saw the arrival of the majority bloc of lawmakers who are opting to remove the speaker. They arrived and then they went in session. Currently they are holding an executive session with the ECOWAS delegation. Last Tuesday, the ECOWAS delegation met with the speaker and members of the speaker team. They met in the original chambers of the House of Representatives. That is the regular chambers that they usually use for session, and then they held discussions with the speaker and also the side of the Senate. They held discussion. So on today, another drama on Capitol Hill. As you can see, the vehicles of the majority bloc, their vehicles are here parked on the side. They also used last Tuesday to summer several lawmakers, and last Thursday also to summon several of their colleagues. One of their colleagues wrote, he responded to their communication, who is Representative Edward Papi Flomo from District 13, Montserrat County. He said that the only way he can the adhere to the communication by those lawmakers is when the the lawmakers return to the original chambers of the House of Representatives to be presided by the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Then you will be able to sit on their gavel to listen to them, and also not only to sit on their presiding, but he will also allow himself to go through investigation and all of that. Other than that, he will not go in the joint chambers, because any attempt for him to leave the side of the speaker to go in the joint chambers, it means that he's going to be increasing the numbers of the majority bloc, maybe from 43 currently, they will be hitting back to 44 and 45 and upward. So he said that he would not actually go on the side of the majority bloc as communicated to him, to the side of the speaker. So that those are some of the updates on Capitol Hill. We are waiting to see what's going to happen, the outcome of their meeting on today. So we are still here and waiting to see what's going to happen. The speaker is yet to hold session on today. Normally, you have to hold session, you have to go in the chambers and hold a session, and at which time, when the numbers there, the number of lawmakers do not constitute quorum, and then he can join, but he has not done that. We are still waiting to see whether the speaker going to do that on today. It has not happened. Not being able to go in the original chambers of the House of Representatives to hold session, the speaker. So thank you. If you are just joining us, thank you for joining us. Keep sharing. We are here coming to you live on the grounds of the Capitol building, giving you updates on what's happening here on the grounds of the Capitol building as we await the outcome of the executive meeting. ECOWAS delegation to Liberia to intervene in this entire impasse on Capitol Hill. It has been an interesting moment on the grounds of the Capitol building. On the grounds of the Capitol building, we are still waiting to see whether the speaker and the 30 lawmakers, they are going to go in the regular chambers of the House of Representatives today. By law, they will have to go there, and if the number of lawmakers in section do not constitute quorum, and then you will have to join the section. So again, there you have it. Much more to talk about from Capitol Hill on today.
Yeah, so Chokon, I think we are good in terms of audio. I think we're all good talking about audio at this point. I want our folks to just kindly give us an update on the audio quality at the moment. Let us know as to whether the audio is good, as to whether it's something we can work with, because we want to remain here and keep giving you all of the updates right here up Capitol Hill, bringing you um, everything that's happening here. Even as we speak now, Trocon, I'm told that um, the Senate is having, okay, so folks, you can give us update on the audio quality. Okay, someone says it's good. So let us know if you're hearing me. Let me be away a little bit and let us know if you're hearing me. Can you guys hear me? Give us update on the audio quality. We appreciate if you were to do that, because we want to continue on providing this particular update here for you up Capitol Hill. Is the audio quality okay? You can kindly let us know as we continue this particular broadcast. Let us. Okay. Okay. So I'm told that the audio is very good at the moment, and so this is exactly where we are. So Trogon, as we speak, looking at the far end there are indications that this particular activities, talking about the meeting, is going to be over anytime soon, and the lawmakers are going to be making their way out here.
Of course, the last meeting held on Tuesday with the minority bloc or the bloc of the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the meeting did not stay long because we were around. In the meeting lasted between 10 to 15, maybe the highest 20 minutes, and then they left the chambers of the House of Representatives. So I don't think the meeting will last long, but we hope maybe we can talk to some of those guys who will be coming from that meeting. The speaker did not talk to us that day. He did not speak to the media about the outcome of the meeting. What were some of the issues discussed and how they were intending to implement some of those issues finalized within the meeting, during the meeting with the with the ECOWAS delegation.
Okay, so Trokon, I just want to I want to have you on a bit because you were in there. Let's go back. Let's go back a little bit on some of what the executive, some of what the majority bloc achieved today, talking about their own activity here on Capitol Hill. What do you think was their major achievement today? What are some of the things that they successfully did in their own session today?
Today, the like regularly, the majority bloc will assemble here in the morning about 10 o'clock. Last Tuesday, they invited a couple of officials from the government of Liberia, and they came. This today, we watch, we listen to folks from the government of Liberia, especially from the executive, the Liberia Electricity Regulatory,
Authority.
authority representatives were here today and cross-examining. These are achievements, and also ECOWAS also with them the holding a meeting that may be successful on today again with the ECOWAS representative,
Yeah, the delegation.
the delegation
ECOWAS.
who have come to intervene in this entire matter. But we don't know because last Tuesday, Nelson, the ECOWAS delegation met with the Speaker of the House of Representatives for a couple of minutes, about 20-15 minutes, but even up to now, we don't know exactly what they discussed in that meeting with the Speaker. We did not see a release. The Speaker did not
you're right.
talk to us.
You're right, because the outcome of those different meetings, those different engagements, whether with the Liberian Senate or with the Vice President or with the Speaker's bloc, or now as we're seeing with the majority bloc, the outcomes of those meetings are very important. It's something that Liberians are very much interested in, since in fact there have been divided opinions on this particular issue about ECOWAS coming to the country, the ECOWAS delegation getting involved with what's happening here on the grounds of the legislature, especially at the House of Representatives.
Exactly, Nelson.
Okay, so Chokon, just before coming to you, there you have The Nima County lawmaker, Senator Prince Yelugbe Johnson, making his way out of the grounds of the Capitol. I just spotted him, the vehicle they're going. And the reason why I thought to highlight that, Chokon, is because the reason why I thought to highlight that is because the Liberian Senate, as we speak, is yet to start their own session. Session, as per their own rule, is supposed to begin by 10 o'clock. You know, that's what's on the book for them. But usually the sessions will drag up to maybe 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock. If the Liberian Senate is beginning session early, it's going to be something around 11:30, contrary to their own rule. And so, even as we speak, they're yet to begin their own session. Yes, let me zoom in a little bit on the Senate wing of the legislature. I did engage with a few persons, and I was told that the Senate was in a meeting. They were in a meeting, after which they'll be going to session. But to see the Nima County lawmaker exiting the grounds of the Capitol, it speaks volume. It brings to question as to whether there's even going to be a session conducted today by the Liberian Senate.
Yes, of course, Nelson. I was thinking because this morning when we arrived here, we saw the arrival of the Finance and Development Planning Minister who came. A lot of people say he brought the budget to present the budget to the Senate. He actually went to the side of the Senate and he disembarked his vehicle and went upstairs to the senators. We even up to now we don't know what exactly the finance minister discussed with the senators, whether he brought the budget and all of that. But we saw him here earlier on in his official vehicle on the grounds of the Capitol building.
Okay, so Chokon, let's bring in our media colleague a little bit. Yanti Topa is a media colleague from OKFM and legislative reporter here as well. Yanti, it's good to have you on this analysis, man.
Well, thank you so much. I've been following since this morning with the coverage, especially you guys at Spoon. I also do well, like other reporters as well.
Yeah.
Because from day one, we've been following all of the happening. Because for the fact that the constituents, people who are in Lofa, Maryland, they don't easily follow some of these issues that's happening on Capitol Hill. But for whenever there's a live video showing specifically,
they get to follow regardless of where they are.
What's happening. All people are concerned. It has to do with the removal process of the speaker that have been taking place here up Capitol.
So, Yanti, let's start the conversation with the majority black, because you know that the minority black have struggled for some time now. To get a quorum, which has been a very important issue here. Majority black had a session today. You care to tell us your own takeaway from their session today?
Today, one of the key things that we wanted to see with regards to decision, because all along, when they started this proceeding, most of their attempts, they come back 42, 43, 44. The last time it was 44, at which time when the deputy speaker had just joined them.
Yeah.
But then on the following day, we saw Representative Priscilla Cooper of Montserrat County District number 5 rejoin the block of the speaker. So there were many who have a lot of stuff to say against her. But then some of the things that the majority have been calling on is for their colleagues with the speaker block to join them.
Yeah.
On countless occasions, they will come and make this motion and say that we are giving our colleagues ultimatum this Tuesday or this Thursday to appear, unless what we saw the secretary, the deputy speaker join them. But then it seems to be a very difficult process, because for the fact that when we see lawmakers, like in last Tuesday session, the similar lawmaker were rated again by the acting clerk of the majority bloc.
Yeah.
And one of the lawmakers saying, most of the letter that was taken by the dispatcher to the lawmakers, the office staff refused to take delivery of this communication for the fact that they were being instructed by their bosses not to receive any communication of such nature from the majority bloc. And then there was just loon email that was shown by one of the representatives from Montserrat District number 2, Jerry Yoko. He as quoted by the acting clerk, he said that don't ever send me that communication again. If you do, automatically I will take legal action against you. So it means that probably that either they're not willing to come before the majority bloc. And just on today again, that we saw there was just a long communication from Maserati County District number 13, Edward Flomo.
Yeah, Edward
In
Papi
fact,
Flomo.
every one of them they were subject to an investigation. I think seven of them were subject to an investigation by the majority bloc on the basis that they obstructed some of their colleagues from going to the main chamber. They mentioned October 17, that they obstructed their movement, and then some of the action that they took against the deputy speaker at the time,
Yeah.
when he was moving
Yeah,
in,
trying to move in, and they
and
prevented
said,
him
no,
from
today
having
no
access,
session.
even using inventives.
Yeah, so
preventing
and at that
him.
time the speaker was away in Italy.
Yeah.
So and that led to a serious commotion there at
So,
the main
this is
chamber.
part of the reason why they've been invited by their colleagues now
To come.
to come. But Yanti, as a journalist, let's make analysis, and we're going to bring Jackson Clay on and
Yeah.
some legislative
Yeah,
reporters
exactly.
here. As a media person, where do you see this fight, going? Do you think this is something that's going to end anytime soon? What's the future of this fight?
What for the fact that one of the things that we've been looking to do, that just on Tuesday there were this action by the executive,
Yeah.
meaning for the fact that some members of the executive came to the core
Yeah.
of the majority,
Yeah.
because
The
all
three
along
officials.
people wanted to know what power does the majority has in terms of inviting people from the executive, and to flex their muscle or their political muscle, they decided to take an action. On today.
Yeah.
They decided to take an action to invite members of the executive, and the first action we saw that members of the executive came. Mo Ali, Salif Talor from the Ministry of Transport, the Internal Affairs Minister as well, to appear before them. And we saw the guys there. And then on yesterday, the speaker took on the session to what is it that members
Yeah,
of the
the
executive
communication from the House.
from the House, that the executive should stay back and not do business with the people. And then another issue that will also come in is there has been the delay posture from the level of the Liberian Senate, because the two houses work together.
Yeah.
The two houses work together in terms of doing legislative business, because
Yeah.
no one house will function with all the other, because at times when there is a legislative bill that needs concurrence,
The both houses
the
will
both
have
houses
to
have to
concur.
make decision for the fact that they will have to send it to the House, or the House will send communication there and say we need concurrence. And this is getting difficult
Yanti,
because,
I want
yeah.
to hold you there a bit.
Yeah.
Just before we bring our next colleague on, I want to hold you there a bit, because this is serious. Since this fight began, I'm assigned at the Senate, for example. I have seen the Liberian Senate make some progress, and stuff like that. Some decisions made there
Yeah,
at the level of the
exactly.
Liberian Senate. But we're yet to see, for the past 1 month, a single communication or whatever coming down at the House of Representatives.
Exactly.
So that brings me to the whole thing about the delay posture from the level of the Liberian Senate you're talking about. Do you think the Senate is trying to stay away from everything that's happening at the House of Representatives?
The Sunday, for some members within the leadership of the Sunday, because the leadership that controls most of the aspects of that will go in leadership meeting, because the first action taken by the Senate was they constituted a committee held by Senator Boyson and Milton Finney to mediate between the both sides. And they did that, and up to now we've not seen any concrete action being taken as to whether have they resolved this issue. With the host of other institutions, Liberal Council of Church and other institutions have been intervened, and the process still seems to be ongoing. And then for the fact that the last time when we were here, at the time that the president didn't preside over 2 of the sessions here at the Capitol, and then Senator Dillon, who is the chairperson on Foreign Affairs, who presided over the session for the first time that the president didn't preside because due to some health problem, that he said that after this session they needed to have a meeting. And up today, there has not been a concrete outcome of their meeting, what needs to be done as well. Because mind you, the issue about the budget, if the budget comes to the legislature, the first area that budget goes is the House of Representatives before onward to the Liberian Senate.
Yeah.
So then, but at that time, where 15 members of the Ways, Means and Finance, making all that committee, 15 members and other 15 members, they will come together and deliberate on the budget issue. And now that the Senate has been very slow, and most often when we come here, most of the issues that the Senate is dealing with, they've not been mostly robust on some of the issues, maybe other confirmation hearing or different agenda items, because they got a stake to play in this as well too. Because they have to do some working as well as to who do they recognize, whether the speaker or whether the majority bloc. And this is a tedious process to this as well too. And even the executive, though that we're seeing some of the action that they're taking towards this entire process, but again, the Senate got her own role to play as to whether they will deal with the majority or the speaker bloc. But just the latest that we've been hearing.
Just before we come to that, I want us to get Chokon because he has our Wi-Fi stuff, and I think he's going a little bit away. So let's make some adjustment. Let's come closer to Chokon.
I think he's making call.
Yeah. So it's a separate stuff in his pocket. So let me just try to get it. And this is very important. Let me see if I can get this stuff from him here. What internet? Okay, so Yanti, yeah, it's good to be back.
Yes.
Yeah, we had some issue with our internet and stuff. Yeah, so you were just talking about the latest.
So the latest on yesterday, there was this meeting by the speaker bloc.
Yeah.
We concluded and placed a call to two of the lawmakers there within the speaker bloc after their meeting as to what did they resolve on. So today, the lawyers from their team was here. They were here on the grounds of the Capitol to the speaker wing, and then they concluded that they will be filing another writ on Madama, but then that would be on another dimension, because the first action that they took was they wanted the associate justice in Chimba Yami Bwese to compel the police from the majority bloc to go to the main chamber, but then they didn't adhere to it, and then the associate justice said declined the rate of they said he couldn't issue a rate of prohibition on this entire matter, and he declined to act on it. So again, they've taken another legal action wherein before the close of the day that the lawyers will be coming on with a latest statement as to their legal action that they have taken against their majority towards the Supreme Court. And as it stands today, you see that because of the repeated lack of quorums by the speaker bloc today, they are not having another stuff again. That is creating another problem. Because even if they go to the main chamber again, automatically they will not get a number, and they need the total of 37 lawmakers to do business. And that's the problem.
And this is very interesting, but things are like
and quickly before I go, there was this issue that I noticed from the majority bloc.
Okay,
there are some members. I don't know what is. I don't try to speculate on that. But again, some of the lawmakers like Les or Sempi Jala, he said he will be away from all legislative activity here at the level of the majority bloc. He said he going to seek medical treatment abroad. Robert Humbe as well, also a non-similar action as well. The host of the lawmakers. So it means that going forward in all session day, it means that the majority member will not be in their number. Maybe probably they will resign, but I cannot say whether, though they state that within their communication that they're going for a medical checkup. But again, we have to be on the watch, because anything
something will just be playing out in the background
or behind the scenes. So we'll watch out for that.
Okay, thanks a lot, Yanti. We appreciate you a whole lot, folks. We stay here on the grounds of the legislature. Let's see if we can get our guy Chokon. Let's see if we can get our guy to come on. But we stay here on the grounds of the legislature, trying to bring you the updates. As you see, the vehicles have already started coming through, and of course, we are going to remain posted here till we receive the lawmakers from the majority bloc. They're currently in a meeting with ECOWAS, but we're here with the president, the vice president of the Legislative Reporters Association of Liberia, LegisPool, Jackson Clay. Jackson, it's good to have you on this legislative analysis.
Yeah, thank you so very much, my colleague Nelson. It's a pleasure.
I mean, you've been following the entire happening here. Let's start with the activity today, then we're going to give some background on the on the different activities from time past. Jackson, let's look at the majority bloc or the legislature here today in its entirety, especially the House of Representatives. Was there any progress made today? What is there any reason why we should say this was another successful day at the
So
legislature?
I would say yes because just look at what happened here today. And besides today, what happened previously on Thursday, last Thursday, all of the executives that have been invited, where are they going?
Okay.
They are going to the majority bloc. So it tells you that hey, the fight is gradually taking shape.
Okay.
Unlike before, we didn't know where the executive was.
Okay.
But for the fact that the executive now are being directed to the majority bloc, you don't need a rocket scientist to tell you that in the next coming few days that the budget will also be submitted to the majority bloc. Hey, because if the executive are taking instructions from the president, because the president was not in the know of what's happening, or he went for the people to know, hey, I heard you people went to the majority bloc when the people are in chaos. Why would you do that? You will chastise the officials.
So do you see this as the executive taking the side already? Actually, we're gonna give you a pass very shortly. But do you see this as the executive taking the side already?
Not really they are taking a side. But I think the executive is trying to do what's prudent. The business of the Liberian people need to be conducted.
So today,
And so there's like you saw the letter that the president wrote. Now hey, we are in crisis and we'll wait for our lawyers so that we review all of the side and we know how we can chart our next course. That's why has been delaying the budget submission. So under these things are happening and things are glaring. Hey, you don't need a rocket scientist to tell you that, hey, brother speaker, you no longer have the people on your side. No, you do not. The honorable thing for you to do is to pack your things and leave.
So Jackson, from the journalistic perspective, do you see this fight anytime soon?
I do not see it anytime soon because, mind you now, the speaker will not want to act on a duress. He's a lawyer.
Okay.
So he will need you to galvanize the necessary signature that needed to have it removed. Until that is done, he still remains the legit speaker. We were here, we saw the issue of talent.
Yeah.
And we saw how it went. And the reason why it went the way it went, because at the time, Tara had sufficient grip on his colleagues. Unlike now, it's just like 10 months into your speakership, and you are facing these things. You've not gotten the grip of your colleagues yet. So you see the number how wide it is during the time of Speaker Tara. The number wasn't like this. The speaker has the speaker then you know what you could do.
Okay, so there are two things at play here, Jackson, and you being a veteran legislative reporter, I just want to get your own analysis on it. There is the politics of what's happening versus the legality. All right, there is a political nature of what's happening, and there's a legal, process to how it should be as well.
Sure.
The legality and the political nature. Which of the two? What do you think is going to thrive here?
Nelson,
The legality and
the ground on which we stand is purely political. This place is the largest political theater in the country.
Someone may
Everything
say
that people
it's
do
a
here.
bit legal and political at the same time. It's legal
Nelson,
in the sense that they
Nelson,
make laws here. It's
I agree.
political in the sense
These
that
people who
it's
make the
not
law, they are not the people. They don't conform to their laws. They make law here, but they don't respect. They are not respectful of their laws they make here. Everything these folks do up this street or up this hill is purely political, and up here is a number game. Politics is a number game. For me, when I thought the speaker flew that private jet into the country when the thing broke up, I thought you were being on bended knees to his various colleagues. Hey, gentlemen, we can do this. We can do this. But he started running to media houses and started making some wild allegations. For heaven's sake, you already took the guys to LECC, say, hey, these guys are being bad. So the people character now are on the line. So even if they will have the Congo ground, they say, hey, you already took the case. There are issues of corruption that are being investigated, and those things you have to look into it.
Thank you.
So it's there.
Well, thanks a lot. Thanks so
very much.
I see from this point, I see there are indications that the majority bloc will be coming out anytime soon. We see actually, what do you make of the situation here? We see a huge presence of LDEA security coming out as well.
So it's perhaps there are speculations that those lawmakers will be attacked.
Let's take a second.
You
Yeah.
know, so as you are seeing, they are here to provide maximum security for those majority lawmakers. So it's just a normal thing as it have always been over the weeks. But what's so surprising is the LDA. You know,
Yeah.
it seems to be their very first time
Yeah,
on the
and-
grounds
and-
of the capital since the entire saga.
And you may be right on that aspect. We haven't seen the LDA. We haven't seen the LDA being very involved with this process like this before. We haven't seen the LDA being very involved with the process like this before, but there are indications that any moment from now we're going to have the folks coming out, the majority black, which we want to capture and get to speak to a few of the folks as well. But actually, let's try to speak to Edwin Ginowe, one of our media colleagues here. I'm trying to see if I can get this to fit in the best way possible. Okay. Edwin, it's good to have you on this analysis.
Thank you.
Okay. You are a very seasoned media practitioner in Liberia, coming from the print background and all of that. You've been in this game for a very long time. You've covered and followed the different removals of speakers, from Representative Snow to Tyler. They're both at the level of the Liberian Senate now. What's your analysis of everything that's happening here now on the grounds of the legislature?
Well, it's kind of difficult to analyze such situation that's unfolding right now. But as a journalist, and maybe a journalist, I've been following the issue of recent.
Yeah.
I'm not a son here because of this. I kind of back off my colleagues.
Okay.
So for what we have observed so far, this crisis would not be anytime soon, because the both sides are not willing to give in. So you will find it difficult to see one person giving in. So without finding solution anytime soon. We pray that ECOWAS will do the best, but it is still doubtful that ECOWAS will find solution.
There have been divided opinions on the involvement of ECOWAS in this particular thing. There are some who think that Liberia is a sovereign country and ECOWAS shouldn't get involved into everything that's happening. While others think that Liberia, being a member of the ECOWAS community, should at all point in time have the intervention of ECOWAS once it has to do with something that will bring stability to whatever the conflict is in the country. What exactly do you state on that?
One thing we need to establish for Nelson, who invited ECOWAS? How did ECOWAS get involved in this situation? So those are things we need to establish first. How did they come in, and how did they got involved into this crisis that we are facing right now? But if you look at the entire legislature, the both sides, either the speaker side and the majority bloc, they are unbending on their decision. So it is difficult. It is difficult to tell who is going where and where are we going. It is difficult.
Wow.
It is difficult. Very difficult.
Okay. Thanks a lot for giving your own piece on this particular issue here.
So
Okay. So, folks, we are getting signals that the folks will be leaving any moment from now, Chokon, and you can see the security vehicles are being prepared. Once you see the engines are all up, they are beating. It indicates that we are going to see the lawmakers leaving this place anytime soon. And Chokon, I don't know, but for some reason, whenever it gets to this point, you will see the huge presence. You will see the huge presence of the security. Okay, so we see the folks.
In a moment from now, the guy's gonna be here.
Okay.
In a moment from now.
Okay, so folks, yes, we are going to continue with this broadcast, making sure that we making sure that we provide you the opportunity Okay, so the folks will be coming in any moment from now, and of course, Spoon TV, we are still here. Um, we are informed that the president, following information that he wouldn't have met with ECOWAS, finally met with ECOWAS today. Of course, the president was finally able to meet with the ECOWAS. So it means that to some extent, ECOWAS have succeeded in meeting with all of the higher ups in the country. The ECOWAS delegation to Liberia was able to meet with the ECOWAS delegation was able to meet with so the ECOWAS delegation was able to meet with the president. You saw at some point that the delegation also met. The delegation also met with the vice president of the Republic of Liberia, and there was a situation as well when the ECOWAS delegation met with the Liberian Senate, and at this point they are meeting with the majority bloc of the House of Representatives. So this is an interesting moment in the midst of the division, in the midst of how divided Liberians are with respect to whether this particular delegation is going to achieve its objective. They finally succeeded in meeting with all of the higher ups. One thing that remains uncertain is whether the delegation is going to achieve her objective. And Trukon, I want to get your take on this issue with respect to the delegation achieving her objective. You can see now the delegation is making its way. Trukon, you can see the security. The Liberian National Police, there is a huge presence of the Liberian National Police here. And of course, the ECOWAS delegation following this meeting. Okay, so you see the flag of the ECOWAS. The delegation is now leaving the grounds of the legislature. And of course, in a very long convoy, they've succeeded in meeting with the majority bloc of the House of Representatives. So while the delegation is leaving, another thing we are going to look forward to and also capture here is the arrival or the exit of the majority blocks, the folks from the House of Representatives. Trokon, the government of Liberia, three officials of the executive met with the majority bloc, and it caused some discomfort for the minority bloc. They became concerned on grounds that the executive, they thought that was a way of the executive taking side. But given the situation now where the ECOWAS delegation is meeting with the majority bloc, what do you think is going to happen here? Is it a level playing field? Do you see this as something that the minority bloc is going to, for any reason, have some issues with?
I don't think so, because the mandate of the delegation to Liberia, the mandate is clear in such that they are in a country to intervene in this entire impasse on Capitol Hill.
Okay.
So meeting with all sides, is the best thing to do as mediating group. So obviously, once they met with the speaker and the minority bloc, we were anticipating that they were going to meet with the majority bloc, and they did on today. But what is more pivotal in this entire thing is, Nelson, the outcome of the meetings. We don't know the meeting with the speaker for ECOWAS. What was the meeting, the outcome? We don't know. Today again, another meeting with the majority bloc. Yet we don't know the outcome of the meeting. Another meeting with the Senate. We don't know the outcome of that meeting also. So we don't know exactly all of the meetings that are being held by the ECOWAS, delegation to Liberia to intervene in this entire matter. We don't know the outcome of those meetings.
And that's very interesting, because a lot of people look forward to a situation where, following the meeting with the Senate on Tuesday, And also following the meeting with the speaker, Speaker Kofa and his team on Tuesday, that there would have been some sort of update with respect to what the ECOWAS was able to achieve as a result of the meeting, as to whether the meeting in the first place is going to bring about some sort of solution to this particular situation. So those are issues that people were looking forward to, which did not turn out to be the the reality, the all of the day. I see one of the lawmakers there is that representative. Let's see if we can get, so you can just get there and get your mic on. Let's see. One of the lawmaker of the
and
majority
definitely because
bloc.
they have previously met with the invited speaker and they needed to get our side. And subsequently, we don't know their decision, but we were able to make
So
our
how
case.
did they go? You are resolved, or you have some agreement to resolve your blog and rejoin
Issues
it?
raised in our resolutions are not issued to compromise. The issues border on corruption cannot be issued to compromise. The speaker should account for $7 million extra in 2022 and 2023 fiscal year. The August body appropriated $2,600,000 and he received $9,700,000. He should be able to account for it.
If the ECOWAS delegation, for the sake of peace, asks you to let go the entire fight and settle your
I
dispute,
dare them to make that recommendation.
will you agree with that?
I say I dare them. There's a parliamentarian issues. The numbers speak.
Do you think you've been brought to public ridicule with the involvement of ECOWAS in an issue at the House of Representatives?
We are members of the ECOWAS Parliament. And Article 4 of their rules, the supplementary rules says they promote peace. So in accordance with the supplementary act, they came to mitigate these issues.
Adhering to your count in your resolution is one aspect, and then your stand that the speaker recuses himself is another aspect. Where are you with that?
We have said, and we will say this again. The speaker needs to recuse himself and face the counts against him. It is the best parliamentarian proceedings.
How did the ECOWAS delegation receive that?
No, the fact about it is a parliamentarian proceeding. The numbers speak and take their stand. You cannot do nothing. There's not a different area. Even at the judiciary, on the Supreme Court bench, they run a decision based upon vote.
So all of that.
Your committee, is it legal? Is it legal? Do you think the speaker is going to subject himself to your committee?
You went to the Supreme Court along with the prohibition prefer. Once the Supreme Court declined, there's nothing about legality I'm going to argue about again.
Thank you.
You being majority,
How long do we expect this?
There's no fight. We are doing the Liberian people when I come in, you ask a question. I'm not going to answer the question the way you want me to answer it. We're doing the Liberian people work. You see members of the executive appearing, answering to questions raised by the people deputies. So what else do you want? We are doing the Liberian people work.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chokon. So, folks, yes, Spoon TV, and we're going to remain here. Chokon, there are signs that the majority bloc will be coming.
Of
will be
course,
coming out. Yes.
they are coming. You saw Representatives Clarence Gar. He's also from Margibi County District 1, and he was there. He's one of the ranking officials from the...
Yeah, go ahead.
So he's one of those people, behind the entire removal of the Speaker of the House of Representatives. He has said that they remain unbending about their quest to remove the Speaker because they believe that their accounts are genuine. Their accounts contained within the petition to remove the Speaker. The accounts are genuine. So Representative Clarence Gar is saying that whether ECOWAS or with or without ECOWAS, they are consistent with this entire removal of the Speaker.
Chokon, there's one aspect that was a bit concerning to a lot of people. When the lawmaker said, when I asked the question as to whether if the ECOWAS suggests that they let go the fight for the sake of peace, and the lawmaker said he dares ECOWAS to make any suggestion of such.
Of course, Nelson, like I said earlier on, Representative Gar is one of those people who was pushing exactly. If you can recall, on October 17, when they decided to read their petition here in the public, he was one of those people who was set and ready about, for this day. For him, he believes that the Speaker over the period or the last 10 months, the speaker has not, demonstrated that leadership ability for his colleagues. So for them, they are clear about they are clear about the resolution to remove the speaker. So today he's here meeting with, like I said earlier on, with or without the ECOWAS intervention. They are clear about the removal of the speaker.
And this is very interesting. Chokon, I want to go around a bit, and I want you to take charge of this as I go around a bit to speak to some Liberians, because the interesting thing about this thing is that you have not just lawmakers, but you have Liberians who have trooped in here as well to witness everything that's transpiring here at the level of the House of Representatives. What is it that is interesting to them? You see from all sides from here, you see on the left side, you see, just on the grounds of the legislature, there are Liberians here who have trooped in their numbers to witness all of the happenings here on the grounds of the legislature. So we're going to move on to talk to a few Liberians to get their take on some of the happenings while we are going ahead, while we are building up the momentum and gearing up to capture the exit of those lawmakers. We want to speak to a few Liberians who have some views on this particular issue. What do they make of the happenings here at the legislature? Obviously, some of them will decline, but a few Liberians who want to speak to us, we will definitely take our microphone to them and hear exactly what their thoughts are. Folks, this is Spoon TV. I'm Nelson Colette. Thanks for joining us. Let's talk to a gentleman right before us here. Hello, sir. Welcome to Spoon. I see you are here on the grounds of the Capitol. What brought you here? So you just want to witness a drama unfolding here up Capitol Hill?
Yes, of course.
But you think it's a good one for our country?
I can't say anything for now.
Okay, you can't say anything for now. Let's speak to this gentleman here. Hello, sir. Welcome. You want to just reduce? I know you are watching the broadcast that is on right now. Okay, so what do you make of the happening here up Capitol Hill?
Well, actually, it's a serious national issue, and I think it is something that basically has to do with the forward march of our country. So obviously, everyone will have some interest in it to see how it will end.
Okay. So do you see this anytime soon?
Well, I can say for sure, because looking at the nature of the crisis, it is something that has been dragging on for almost 3 weeks.
Okay.
So I cannot really tell you, to be specific, rather to tell you when this particular
the majority,
crisis will come to an end.
or the minority, who do you think is proceeding rightly here?
Well, it's a critical question. It's a debate. The minority has been accusing the majority of proceeding wrongly. And then the majority too has also been maintaining the ground that they are proceeding regularly in conformity with the Liberian Constitution, the 1986 Constitution of Liberia, and that of the standing rules of the House of Representatives. So I cannot clearly tell you because you are very clean, you cannot claim. So as an individual, I cannot really be specific.
So you can say who's proceeding rightly, but do you think democracy is at work? Do you think it's good for us to witness these kinds of processes?
Well, realistically speaking, I think these things happen in other countries, to be frank with you. I think these are some of the issues that also help to strengthen your democracy. It's a democratic process because if democracy normal matters. But again, I always tell people in this kind of crisis, one thing I always frown on is for people to start to use violent means to bring their colleagues on board. In the kind of crisis, I believe the best approach that you can use is persuasion, not violence.
ECOWAS delegation is here in Liberia trying to make some intervention. Do you think it's necessary for a country like Liberia to have the involvement of ECOWAS in what's unfolding?
Well, as part of international best practice, as far as I'm concerned, and then also taking into consideration the involvement of ECOWAS in our country over the years, we know the role that ECOWAS play in bringing peace to Liberia. I think they are coming on board. For me, I will consider to be prudent. I hope and pray that the various parties are been innovating to have audience with ECOWAS. It is my hope and prayer that they will give audience to ECOWAS.
Thank you very much for talking to Spoon TV. What's your name again?
Well, I think it's a pleasure. My name is Abraham Carlos Kukui.
Abraham Carlos Quickly. Thanks a lot for talking to Spoon TV.
Thank you, it's a pleasure.
Okay, so let's talk to another gentleman here. Hello, sir. Welcome to Spoon. What's your name?
Yeah, I'm Onismo Brookboga Corporal. It's a pleasure.
Onismo.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome to Spoon. What's your take on with respect to what's happening here on Capitol Hill?
Oh yeah, Capitol Hill, Capitol Building is the biggest political theater in the country. And what going on? Another strange thing. It happened all around the world. It helps to strengthen democracy.
Okay.
And it's a good start. It's a good fight. We all just need to watch the process. Let the politician, let them fight. And I know it will have to end.
Do you see the involvement of ECOWAS as something that's necessary at this point?
You see, ECOWAS will always play her own role. It is those guys are ready to listen to ECOWAS, agree what ECOWAS will say, and disagree with ECOWAS as well.
Okay.
But it helps to strengthen democracy.
Okay, thank you for talking to Spoon TV.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so folks, we're staying here, of course, Spoon TV. We are coming to you live from the ground of the legislature. Okay, so let's move in there to see what's happening. Of course, we are going to remain posted to make sure we captured the exit of the lawmakers. And of course, this is exactly why we're here.
The signs and symptoms that we see today, that the two groups have not been able to meet under one roof, is totally different from what happened. During our days, we were able to maneuver. At the end of the day, you see the lack of Adolf Lauren, may his soul rest in peace, the lack of the Bill Tuawe, McKinney Timba, Embassy Kamara, the Haja, or Zion. We were a candidate that is also on the other extreme side, right? We met on a day-to-day basis, but when it reaches Tuesday and Thursday, we are divided on policy issues. But today we see people being escorted to one chamber. Worker was coming to work, and there was not much division. I've been here this morning. I've been observing. One group is jailing, one group is doing all of those things. So we see the division.
Before my colleague comes in, why do you get responsible for that? Which side you see is causing this degenerating to quote unquote chaos? Because you follow the debate, you see the other people go to session, others are going to lock the doors, others are coming to talk.
Well, the absence of the speaker caused some little bit of fraction, but when you came back, and I believe if he was here when this thing started on the 17th, what happened that day wouldn't have happened. So his absence created a little bit of gap, but say he came back and with advisors from all our international partners, so he had been trying to manage some differences.
There are some Liberians who think, I'm Nelson from Spoon, there are some Liberians who think that you, the former lawmakers, created, set the foundation for what's happening now. You set the pace for what we're seeing transpiring now, the 5th legislature. What can you say to that?
No, it is totally just different, Nelson, as people may perceive it to be. It's a normal thing that even the husband and wife in the home, there will always be some exchanges. But when the exchanges interrupt to the extent that what happens beyond camera, you bring it to the public glare, those bitterness remain forever. When it happened during our day, if you watch the YouTube video today, I was one of those that engaged Samuel Koga. What I was doing, I was preventing him from taking the agenda from the presiding officer who was the speaker at the time. We thought so, and at the end of the day, we'll cross you. I told you, you can't take it. So our line was drawing. But today, looking at the mistakes from the past, and we cannot say that. We saw ECOWAS coming in here. ECOWAS coming in here. What can ECOWAS do better than the those of us? Our old people got a parable that one who raised sheep talks sheep matter. We were here. We know the details. We know the in-depth of those things.
During your days, did you guys receive money to remove speakers?
Never.
There are allegations of lawmakers receiving bribes to remove speakers.
Never, ever. Every time you monitor me on the OKFM, I've always spoken about invisible hands, that interplay, blah, blah, blah. But there was nothing that has to do with money.
No money.
No money.
Can hear you saying they play the scenarios of political doesn't suggest that we should forgo the 1986 constitution of which we took oath for in the past.
The
now
constitution,
of this area.
the constitution is for which we have decided to intervene. We have always said, we always say president, we always say this happened yesterday, it should happen. There are means and bounds through which correction can be made when it comes to some of these things. So we are not neglecting the constitution. By matter of fact, the Supreme Court took a decision. They took a decision and they are asking the both party to act in accordance of the law. And that's why we will pursue both parties. Like I said, and like the chairman said, our job is to mitigate. And we don't want anybody saying that because it happened during our time. What happened during our time, in fact, if we are correct, this would not have happened up to the extent that it happened right now.
I have a question for the chairman.
I have a regret because there's my former home. I believe in the parliament so much. I love the parliament so much. That's why, by matter of fact, you saw Uncle Kazulu and myself were walking arm to arm today. You know that we went to election 2017. He won me, right? The fight that we can see head to head and we're talking. We just came from having lunch together. It means that politics is just something that is dynamic. Whenever a side win, they win. It doesn't mean that it's personal thing that we should be going again, because what we have, the common denominator is Liberia. We cannot get our children worried in school. We cannot get our parents in the market all head scatter because of this impasse on Capitol Hill.
So I have a question for the chairman, Honorable Smith. I mean, you serve at the level of the legislature, two-time lawmaker of Grand Bassa County. You were very instrumental in the processes that led to the removal of a former speaker here at the legislature as well. Do you and now several years after, you're coming back on this very ground of the legislature to try to mitigate a situation similar to something that you pushed for several years back. Do you regret your actions?
No, I don't regret my action because we acted within the confines of the law. And so I have no regret. Understand that there is a political theater. And everything here is based on interest. We believe at the time that our constituent interest, the national interest, was at risk from the current leadership. And we decided to voice that. It did not degenerate into physical attack on each other, all right? So the then leader, Alex Sala, for whom I hold a lot of respect, realizing that the national interest surpasses everything, all right, and giving the peculiarity of the situation at the time, he decided to resign for the good of the country. All right. But every situation demands its own approach. We cannot use one size fit it all. And this is why we find it expedient and imperatively, compellingly necessary that we intervene in the situation, bring it to bear our basic pieces of experience from both the Snow and the Tyler era.
All right, so let's see what from I'm Prince. I work for Prime and Focus on that TV. So a straightforward question to you. Legislative politics is a number game. 43 one side, 30 one side. 30 cannot constitute a quorum. 43 says we have the quorum. You were here during the 50th term also. I mean, what do you think your mitigation will do, taking into consideration the numerical strength of the 43 and the 30?
You know, usually the method you use to approach in resolving situations vary. What happened yesterday cannot constitute what happened today, even though the past is a foundation for the present and the future. But I'm of the stronger conviction, and maybe to ask you rhetorically too, why do you think the ECOWAS will come from out and succeed here and we cannot succeed? The fact remains that we graduated from high school. We know how the mathematics teacher can behave. We know how the chemistry teacher can behave. The biology teacher, how they can behave. So based on that experience, because we were here and approaching from different angles, we serve on various committees. So those things that can constitute the problem, we are quite aware of it. So it's based on our experience. That's why usually even when you go look for a job, they say they want to know your experience. Because experience solves a lot of problems.
Do you see Thomas Fala in the legs going back on the gavel or Speaker for the cover? Do you see that?
If there is a compromise, why not? Thomas Fala and Fulanti Kofa had not been a local here. So if there is a compromise, if we can intervene and there is a compromise, why will Thomas Fala have problem with sitting under the gavel of Speaker or Speaker Kofa? When he have been sitting under Speaker Kofa gavel, they are adjacent in the seat. They sit there, they consult each other. It's not a personal problem between Funati Kofa
Why are some of the compromise you think?
Thomas Fala. So there's no reason to doubt whether Thomas Fala and Speaker Funati Kofa can sit in a adjacent chair to stage chair.
Will you be disappointed?
The plenary of the House.
Will you be disappointed as a former lawmaker if your colleagues fail to listen to you guys to the kind of solution you're trying to provide to the situation?
I don't want to be hypothetical. I'm of the stronger conviction that indeed our representative here, seeing us as their seniors, as their most experienced people, we've been talking, they listen to us, and I'm of a stronger conviction that they will still listen to us.
Does this issue have the propensity to degenerate into national conflict, as some Liberians are having this fear? Does it have the propensity to degenerate into national conflict?
This is what people here need to understand. The other day I saw Vendetta Patrick's mobilizing. He said you're coming to demonstration. Let me be clear here that the 73 lawmakers that are here, which is a finite number, are the ones that can make decisions. Despite of all the public sentiment, that public sentiment cannot influence the decision here. What the 73 here believe in is what they will go by. I don't care whether you come, you demonstrate. Once they are resolved on certain issues, and that's the reason why you place that implicit confidence in them at the ballot box that indeed they are coming here to represent your interests. The decision that they make here does not suggest, the recommendation you make out there, because their judgment is with respect to the mandate that you give to them.
Okay, thank you very much for talking to us.
All right, so folks.
All right, Spoon TV folks, you just listened to a brief interview, a brief conversation with former lawmakers here at the House of Representatives. They've been speaking out on the happenings. They've actually come to make some interventions with respect to the unfoldings here at the House of Representatives. They want to get their colleagues, to go to doing the right things, to avoiding this conflict. They want to make some interventions that will see peace at the level of the House of Representatives, if possible, to bring this tension to rest. And of course, this is exactly where we are. Spoon TV, we want to say welcome. Thanks for joining us. I see former representative of District 17, Montserrat County, Representative Hassan Kiazulu. Let's see if we can engage him here.
Speaker can leave the chair on the basis.
Okay. So the former lawmaker doesn't want camera, so we're going to remove it. So the lawmaker said he wants to be off camera. But exactly this is where we are. We're gonna keep bringing you all of the updates on Capitol Hill here. Former lawmaker of District 17, Hassan Kiazulu, trying to weigh in his thoughts on some of the happenings. But he says he doesn't want to be on camera. So this is where we are. Thanks for joining us, Spoon TV. They're going back. Also, we've been informed that the majority black have gone back to session. So let's see if we can make our way back there. Let's see if we can get back there to bring you the happenings from there. Thanks for joining us, folks. Spoon TV. We are here coming to you live from the grounds of the legislature. Let's see if we can very shortly move in and bring you the unfoldings from up there as we are getting information that the majority bloc has gone back to session following a meeting with the ECOWAS. The majority bloc, as we are told, has gone back to session. So we will bring the updates to you from that end as well. But we just spoke with some of the folks, the former lawmakers who are seniors for most of the folks here. They've been on these grounds before. They've walked this chapter. They've made decisions from the 53rd, 54th legislature. And they've been weighing in on some of the happenings here. For some, they think this is not the right way to. All right, so thanks for joining us. So, folks, we are making our way to the majority block. Let's see if we can. Yeah. So, Trokon, you just listened to some of the former lawmaker weigh in their thoughts. First, we are sorry for the network.
Actually, when you ask the question about the foundation that they lay here,
yeah,
you know, the removal of a speaker, the foundation they lay here today,
yeah,
the foundation the current lawmakers are trying to follow.
Mm-hmm.
And I see the facial expression of the former lawmakers quite changed.
So, I mean, this is very serious, Chokon, because in the midst of everything we're talking about here, those former lawmakers, especially the likes of Representative Smith, former Representative Smith, they were at the forefront of the removal of Speaker Ellis Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they led the fight and they built the necessary tension and all of that, and they succeeded. So we are now headed to the joint chambers of the House of the joint chambers of the legislature. So that's where we're headed now. Let's see if our network is going to serve us well. Mm-hmm. Let's see if our network is going to serve. So, Chokon, as I was just saying, mm-hmm. those guys were at the forefront of everything that happened. They led the fight. They succeeded. Tyler couldn't withstand the tension. He resigned. Mm-hmm. But then so many years after, Snow, the same thing. He had to resign. Mm-hmm. So many years after, there's a repeat of the
what they did here.
Situation. Yeah, they sparked, and they're now calling on their colleagues to drop arms.
So someone will say, what moral rectitude that you have to tell somebody to drop arms when you lay the foundation for the removal of the Speaker of the House of Representatives?
Wow, these tests are real exercise. Okay. So the majority black in the session.
Majority black in the session.
Majority black in the session.
I present you compliments and wish by directive of the Honorable House of Representatives in section to request your committee, Ways, Means, and Finance, to submit a budget performance report of the Honorable House of Representatives covering the period from January to September 2024. Honorable Chairman, the request is predicated upon a communication from Honorable Nyan G. Flomo, Representative, Electoral District Number 2, Nima County, which was debated and found to be genuine for ensuring 2025 fiscal year budget debate. Kindly see attached said communication for ease of reference. With trust and confidence unabated, I remain sincerely yours, Honorable C. Commerce Chair, Acting Chief Clerk. So, Honorable Presiding Officer, again, the dispatcher took the communication and he said the majority should receive it. This is where we are.
Deputy Chief Clerk, Acting Chief Clerk, you have the mandate of this plenary, you have mandated to please redo that letter with similar content to the Honorable Chairperson of Ways, Means and Finance along with his co-chairperson to report to this Honorable body on Tuesday to submit the budget performance report of the Honorable House of Representatives. Please do.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The motion is already in force. Inquiry.
Yes.
The second letter.
Since is the third communication.
What is the third, right?
Yeah.
Second, please.
Yeah, since this is the second communication, to satisfy the curiosity of due process, I would want to plead with my colleagues that the honorable clerk can include it in that can include in the communication that Tuesday, not only to appear, but a hearing will be conducted into the matter against the communication sent against him. Thank you.
The report, anyone?
Yeah,
Thank you. So with that said, distinguished colleague, Honor Marcelina, if nothing else, we will seek motion for adjournment. Thank you.
So the majority have adjourned the majority black. I think that'll go down.
If you go straight.
So, folks, the majority black have concluded another session here today, following a meeting with ECOWAS, and of course, they are making their way down, exiting the facility here now. Chokon, put your mic on. They are exiting the facility here now, and of course, we are trying to make our way down at the very entrance to capture the exit of those lawmakers. Thanks for watching Spoon TV. I'm Nelson Collet. I'm here with my colleague Chokon Flammer. And of course, we're out
So
now.
the guys are coming.
Yeah.
They already joined session today.
Yeah, and they succeeded. Chokon, one thing I took away from today's session is that there isn't anything such as a tension like what we saw on Tuesday. Everything is more or less calm here today as the lawmakers successfully conducted session. I don't know as to whether it was because of the appearance of the three officials from the executive, but today seemed to be very kind.
Of course, Nelson, today is very calm, and I think the speaker intervened in this matter. Remember on Tuesday, some of those lawmakers from the side of the speaker, they were very much violent. They decided to move in the joint chambers and disrupt the session, but today is quite different.
Okay, so I want us to engage a few other lawmakers. Honorable Gay, welcome to Spoon TV.
Yeah, thank you.
You think today was a successful day?
Very successful. I think the process.
How long does the majority intend to sustain this fight?
I think the due process is on, and we are fighting. And I think in a not too distant future, I think the matter will be laid to rest.
The meeting with ECOWAS, how did it go? What were the outcomes?
The meeting was okay. You know, ECOWAS is Liberia is a member to the ECOWAS, and we as member state to the ECOWAS, we eulogize and welcome the intervention.
Okay, so folks, so let's hope we can continue this broadcast. Our sincere apologies for the break-in, as we are going to continue this particular broadcast right here on the grounds of the legislature, bringing to you all of the happenings here at Capitol Hill. Bringing to you all of the happenings here at Capitol Hill, and making sure that we can capture the happenings. Of course,